Okay, so here is the file that we got. So this is our most basic one that you're gonna find, because then this is the zip file. Pretty much has the title block, the LA is the civil, and then there's the planting plan. I don't even think this is a JPEG image that they have on their plan. So it's really these three files that we're concerned about. So when we're starting a new project, is the best way to start it is going to be going to Arroyo and then the design projects. And then when you go into the Arroyo standards, you'll see a new project folder. And so then the new project folder is just a template of here's all the files. Sometimes on these smaller ones, like it's technically a bad practice, but if I hit copy, if it's similar, then I can then paste it, and then I can call this one is Delano. If I'm going to use this as definitely a setup of if you do, for an example, if you do copy over files, the biggest thing you want to do is you want to purge everything. Because even if you're not using, if there's anything project specific, like we took the commerce file, I don't want that then clogging up this one and then confusion to happen, because then what will happen in the future, if it's not pertinent to the project, you might be in here and see it in this project and be like, oh, why is it in this folder, not the commerce folder? So anytime we can always simplify, that's the hardest thing, especially as we get busy, is having everything in its place and organized. So I'm going to delete this stuff. XREFs, I can go in here and I can delete all the XREFs. Nothing's in the archive folder. We just shouldn't have anything in specs, no site folders, photos. Do we have anything? Coordination files, nothing in there. Calculation. So we're doing this because we're going to reuse these. So I am going to keep these because then we know these are what we've been using for INO. So we can just keep these and then just refill them out for the correct information. All this, we want to take out all the archived files, right? Anything that we've sent them or received. And then we don't need any of our archived files. So sometimes you can see it does, if I would have just set up a new folder and then copied the calculations, it probably would have been quicker. So then now what I do is I'm going to take these three, and there are XREFs, so they're going to go in our XREF folder. And then I take the planting plan, and our planting plan is a copy. And then the one thing that I am going to change about this is it will think if they're named the same, it confuses them. So one of the first steps is you want to change the name of the planting plan to the irrigation file. Normally we just add whatever, they'll have the project name and then it's and then it's .irr, but for whatever reason they use these names. So I'm gonna go this irrigation plan. Now it has been named. And then I'm going to take this folder and I'm going to put it in the DWG file folder. Because now, if you mess up anything, here's the files that you can go back to. So it's never the end of the world. If you delete something you're not supposed to delete, then it's in here and I can go pick it up. So now my first step is I'm going to open up the file. This might not be an amazing representation. She did say she didn't have everything 100%. So you can see here's the title block. And then she doesn't have all this stuff is maybe not the right, or the sheet size isn't set up correctly. So if we go here, we'll see. So she likes to copy this stuff in here. So this is what you were literally just working on. So, but one of the things, see, this is all in model space, right?
Yeah.
We don't want that, right?
Yes.
So the biggest thing is we then come through and I delete everything that's not the XREFs. So that's one of the first steps I do is I come through here and I do the deletion of the model space before I path the XREFs, because now the XREFs aren't showing up. Like they just list like this XREF, it just lists the link. So as long as I don't delete this, then once I relink it, then the XREFs will show up. So like when I hit XR, you're going to see here that the title block and the civil base are linked on here. So then when I find the location of them, they're just going to pop in. So then I'm going to then save this. Actually, I'm going to purge it first. PUA. Sorry, PU. Purge all. Close. And I'm going to save it. And you could go through and do it in AutoCAD. I just think it's, especially when you work on files with a lot of XREFs, the XREF manager is always faster. So in that sense of it's just a good habit to get into, is then I just drag it into the XREF manager, add all, and then sort it by XREFs. Sometimes you'll have like PDFs. If it's like I-10, we have PDFs, so sometimes you have to path those. But usually it's just the XREF files. Select the XREF path. Find the location. And then I don't actually go into the folder, you just click the folder that they're on. So now it says resolved. Hit apply changes. And now when I open it up, Now, if she had set the paper size correctly, you'd see everything is then on here correctly. And then in model space, now the XREF came in where, like, that way if they're rotated at all or anything, you don't have to mess with it because it's exactly how it lines up in their planting plan. All their viewports, everything, because you use their file, right?
Yeah.
So it's been as a template. So now, what I do, I don't like these grid lines personally, so I turn them off. That's a Hurrian specific thing that they do.
Yeah.
But next thing I'm going to do is I want to start putting everything on the right layer. So I'm going to come here to the base sheet tab. I'm going to pick our layers, drop our layers in, go to the layer properties. I'm going to create a filter. So I'm going to go Arroyo Irrigation AI and then sort it by AI. And now we have this filter that sorts everything. So now I can select the XREF, and instead of on the 0 layer, I put it on the XREF layer. And I'm going to make that my current layer. Oh, and see, they even forced it to color 60. Oh, this is weird. Why is it forced? I wanted that layer. So then now I'm going to XR for XREF Manager. And now I'm going to attach the planting plan. So I'm going to go in here. This is why it's important that it's a different name, because it tries to then loop, it thinks it's a loop. So now I have the planting plan. Important, if you ever need to rename the planting plan, do it before you attach it. So sometimes planting plans, they'll put dates in it. A lot of times I take the date out because then every single time you get a new date, it would mess it up. So you always want their things to be a static name. So whatever you choose, you're going to use that going forward, even if it is dated today's date. If you don't delete it, then any future ones, you then would have to copy that name title and paste it into the new one. So otherwise it loses its path and you'd have to reset it up again, which is a bunch of time wasted. So it's going to tell me, hopefully it should pop in. And you can see here now it re-looped all this stuff. But see, now everything's in here. See, now it all popped in nice and pretty. So probably what I should have done is now I'm going to open the XREF of the planting plan. And I'm going to purge everything. So I'm going to delete all the sheet titles or all the sheet layouts. I'm going to take all the XREFs because we already have them in the main drawing, right? So I can detach everything. And now it's only the planting that we're concerned with. Delete all the other crap that's out there that we don't need, right? And then an important step in all these is you want to use the set to by layer. So set by layer command. So when you do that, that makes sure that nothing has its color overridden. And then I come in here and you can see then we're going to come to our moderate plants. I'm going to make these 131. And